Hey folks, Alan Manick, the Hot Rod Hippie here, coming to you with some new products for your project car. Whether it be a car you've already got on the road or one you're working on, a project you're undertaking now, these products can be useful in different stages of the process. These are coming to you from Holohan's Hot Rod shop, so let's check them out. Now you might already have seen I've done a few videos on Holohan's Hot Rod shop. Dan Holohan worked with us on the TIG brazing video to show us the process he uses when he builds custom cars. You can check that video out here. Dan was also kind enough to talk to us about his story in the hot rod world, as well as show us around the shop and some of the projects he has going on in his shop, Holohan's Hot Rod shop. You can check that video out up here as well. In those previous videos, I didn't get around to showing you the folks the products that Dan sells. He has a few products available for your project car that he produces himself. I felt like I would have been shoehorning those products into those videos, so I wanted to give it a dedicated video just to these products. I am unfortunately still a little under the weather, so I'm coming to you from my office again, but let's go ahead and get to this. One often overlooked part of a custom car is the pedals. So Dan Holohan has his Series 1 billet aluminum pedal setup. It's a 3-pedal setup, beautiful machine design, just a really nice intricate design to have a custom look in your car, have a nice pedal to put your foot on, to stick your foot to that gas, that brake, that clutch, and just have a way to connect to your car that's custom, make it stand out a little bit from the crowd. When you're talking a full custom interior, a full custom car, slammed out, LS swapped, whatever you've got going on in that car, and you have the original pedals, it seems like an oversight some of the time. These pedals are available in 2 finishes. You have the raw look and the titanium dip look. Has kind of that slightly gunmetalish gray going on to them. The gas pedal also has a side wing on it. That side wing is for your heel toe clutching, maybe just to give it the look or to actually give you an easier access to that gas pedal as you're hitting the brake, allow you to kind of play your feet on the pedals a little bit easier. Dan has mounted these to all kinds of different vehicles. You can mount them to your throttle body actuation setup for your LS swap. You can mount them to your original swing arm, or you can mount them to some aftermarket arms as well. They're just an interesting and neat way to go ahead and detail the car out a little bit more, make it stand out a little bit. I am considering using these in some future projects myself. These are intended to mount to original GM style pedals. However, Dan also has an add-on kit so you can weld on mounts to your different pedal setups. So if you're working with a Ford or a Mopar or something like that, you could still use these pedals with those. These pedals are currently available for $385 on Dan's website. Really give you a nice detailed finish-off look to your project. Continuing on with the theme of detail, Dan also has these Billets CNC aluminum surrounds for your indicator lights, your parking lights on the side of your Camaro or your Nova. This is just a more detail-oriented look than the original trim rings could provide. They use the original style lens. You're just getting the ring from Dan, but they really fit onto there nicely, give it more of a rounded shape. The quarter panels on those cars where these pieces mount are rounded, but the original mounts, the original rings that come with those cars are kind of flat, and they always struck me as a little out of place. With these, Dan is just trying to create a little more shapely, a little more custom look. It's a detail you might not notice right away, but if you're really looking at a car, if you're really picking it apart, you're walking around it, it's one of those details that will catch your eye eventually. For those of you in the process of building a car, Dan has a beautiful line of products for your AC bulkheads and various other items on a car to recess the panel in. When I'm building a custom car, one accent that I will do from time to time is actually to step in with the bead roller different pieces and parts. Maybe I have a bulkhead fitting passing through a firewall for an AC system, for an electrical connection. If I just step that in, give it a nice pressed look, I can go ahead and create a finer detail. It looks more like I meant that part to be there and not just that it's added onto the firewall wherever I can fit it. Basically, you're buying a blank panel that has a pressed in, recessed, ready to go for you. So all you need to do is locate it where you want it, scribe out where you need to cut in and weld it in, cut that out, weld this piece in, and boom, you've got yourself a ready-made recess. So you don't have to spend time around the bead roller, screw up a couple times, get a distorted panel. This panel's nice and flat, ready to go and work for you. Dan sells these recessed panels in a variety of styles. He has them for the vintage air bulkhead fittings for your AC system. He has them for some of the Resto Mod Air ones, some of the Billet specialty ones, for lock plates for Camaro badges, so you could really customize the Camaro to set that in there, set the logo in to really set off a little bit of a detail. And he also has them to go ahead with those Camaro and Nova side marker lights that I showed you before. These recessed panels from Dan are pretty darn reasonable as well. They are running from about $39 to about $45, $50. So really saving yourself that time working on the project, just having a nice detailed part, that's pretty reasonable in my opinion. And that's the products we're taking a look at for this video. Dan has a range of products available, the ones that he makes himself and the ones that he distributes from other companies. You can also check out his workshops where he teaches some basic metal shaping practices as well as TIG welding, so you can really test out your skills, have somebody who knows what they're talking about walk you through the processes hand-on right there in North Carolina. Go ahead and drop the video a like if you found it interesting. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of these products? I really like the design of those pedals, those recessed panels for the firewalls. I think I'm going to pick up a few of those, have them on the shelf for future projects. They're really interesting as time savers for project use. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more content like this every week. Thanks for coming around, folks.